Thursday night. Welcome to the Gary Goff Show, coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings right here in Tiffin, Ohio. If you'd like more information on Tiffin University football, go to GoTiffinDragons.com. Click on that football link. Find all the information you need to know about Tiffin University football. Coach Gary Goff and all the fine players and coaching staff he has are here with our Tiffin University football program. Coach, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. I surprised you a little bit with those liners there at the start. You
got
and the
jokes
missus
already. You got jokes.
Oh, good. Well, my job here is done. It's time for me to leave. But welcome into the Gary Goff Show here, Coach. As we said, we're on our definite home stretch here. The Dragons coming in this week 5-3. 3 games left on the schedule. Only 1 home game left. 2 road trips. All conference games. And it's hard to believe we're 8 weeks into the season. The high school season is going into the playoffs after this week. Final regular season for them. Only 3 weeks left for us. I'm sure it's flying by for you just as fast as flying by for us.
Oh, absolutely. It seems like we just reported a camp, a few days ago. So, but it's we're very fortunate to be in this position we are right now at 5-3, and we still got a lot of football left, and we're looking to finish this thing, right, and end on a high note.
Well, as the coach just said, 5-3. This week the Dragons will be traveling up to Northwood. We'll give you a full preview of the Northwood Timberwolves here in a little bit. Been a few years since we've been up there to take on Northwood. An interesting setting, to say the least, for college football up there. But another big conference game coming up this Saturday. But first, we'll take a look back at last week's game with the Dragons taking on Finley in the big rivalry game, and an interesting game, to say the least. We'll say that at the start.
Yeah, they all are. They are.
Well, the Dragons, Oilers conference foes, geographic foes, and the Dragons fall in this one a very tight game, tightly contested game, 27-23. And I'll tell you what, one thing I took away from that game is I thought your defense played lights out. Well, your defense played a great game.
They did. Defense been playing very well for a long time now. It seems like we're very fortunate in that, but. We just down the stretch, we made some critical errors and some mistakes, and they made some big plays right there at the end of the game, and we didn't. And really that was the difference in the ball game. But, I thought the team fought hard for 4 quarters. They didn't give in. We came back and took the lead at the very end. And then the last play of the game, we still had a shot to win right there with a couple shots at the end zone. So, still very proud of the young man. They're competing. They're playing really hard. But when it comes right down to it right there, they just made some critical plays, and we didn't. Yeah,
Dragons, as we said, fought in this one 27-23. Got down early after 1 quarter of play. You were down a touchdown, 7-0 to the Oilers. But in the second quarter, you got the offense going. But we're going to show you the highlight of the first touchdown here in a minute. But first, we're going to show you a defensive play that happened early on in the contest. Coach is coming up here right after this play. Your young man gets a sack here, Victor Cave. Tell us about what happened here.
Yeah, Vic's been playing extremely well the last several weeks, and does a great job right there, just really speed rushing, getting around that tackle and putting some pressure on the quarterback, and came up with a big sack right there early in the ball game, which obviously puts him way behind the chains, and they came up with a big stop and gave us the ball.
Yeah, your defensive ends as a group I thought played really well in this game, and you even got some contributions from some other defensive linemen that we haven't said their names a lot. Most only a young man like an Austin Jasper did some really good things for you out there this weekend.
He did. Coming into the season, we knew we were very deep at that position,
right.
And we've had a couple guys get banged up there, but we got their backups are stepping right in and making some big plays. So out of every position on the team, the defense line probably is one of the most talented and very deep.
Well, that's one thing we've learned this year is how important depth is when it comes to a football roster. Isn't that right?
Some spots have no more depth.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we've been running through them, that's for certain. All right, this is not a score, but a fantastic catch here by Mega Dragon Charles Holland going across the middle, Coach. One-handed grab on a tough pass from Antonio Pipkin, but an athlete making an athletic play right here.
Yeah, it's one of our crossing routes right here, and Charles does a great job making the catch. We sometimes we don't appreciate these catches as coaches because we see him do this kind of stuff every day at practice. But, a great catch right there, getting us some positive yardage and moving the chains.
That's one thing that Matt and I will, we mentioned that as well. You kind of get, you just get used to things because you're around it so much and you forget just how talented these, as far as just being athletes, are these kids that you have here playing football for the Dragons. Let's say, you just get used to them just being the football players, the kids on campus that are on the football team. And then, they make an athletic play, be it a defensive lineman, a wide receiver like Charles, or a safety, or like Willis a couple weeks ago. It's nice to be reminded how great of an athlete these kids really are.
You see Charles make a catch like that, and I'm always screaming at him, use 2 hands, and then, he pulls a catch out like that and just kind of looks at me like, Coach, I can do this.
Right.
It's sometimes you got to make those tough catches like that, but we'd much rather see him get 2 hands on the football always.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. All right, this next play will be the Dragons' first touchdown of the game as the Dragons work their way to the halftime, where the Tiffin University football team had a 9-7 lead. And, Coach, tell us about this play because it opened up real nice for your senior running back, Jerry Brown.
Yeah, we've been working on this play action, for quite some time. It's great to get Jerry back healthy and back into this game right here. He set out the previous week at Michigan Tech. And, Jerry had a great week of practice. And, this is a play we've been working on for quite some time. So, we called it right there, the perfect situation, and the safety bit right there, and Jerry slipped right past him for the nice, easy score.
Was that designed for him to rub off that linebacker like that?
Absolutely. We want him, want the linebacker to think that we're coming there ISO blocking him.
Yeah, it was a great play call there as Jerry Brown opened up right down the seam there. And the Dragons, you take a 9-7 lead into the half. Tell us about halftime, how you felt at that point during the game, and what kind of adjustments you were looking to make in the second half.
Well, we kicked a field goal right there to end the second quarter. And, if you can score, right before the half ends and then come out and score on your opening drive, your chances of winning the football game dramatically go up. And, so we win at halftime, and, we made a couple adjustments. And we're excited about how hard the young men were playing. We needed to come out and finish the game there in the second half. And, so at halftime, everything was good. Defense was playing really good, and the offense had been moving the ball. We want to, end every drive with a kick, getting points on the board. And we had missed a few of those early in the game, but, we came in there at halftime and set everybody down, and our plan was to come out and put a nice drive together to start the third quarter.
Well, the Dragons, as we said, took a 9-7 lead into the half, and then in the third quarter, the Dragons drive down the field and get close to inside the red zone, and Antonio Pipkin finds your receiver Charles Holland again, this time from 10 yards out.
Yeah, right here, we motioned out, knew we'd get leverage on one of the defenders by the motion, and we snapped it before they got set. And Charles, again, going up, catching the ball at its highest point in the end zone right there and getting a foot down. So just, another great catch by him. A
nice luxury to have when you're a quarterback, to have that 6'4" wide receiver out there where sometimes it's nothing else. Get up there high and let the young man be an athlete and go out there and get it.
Yeah, in that play right there, we're throwing to an area and just counting on the receiver to get there and make a play. So, Pip gave him a nice catchable ball right there in the back corner of the end zone.
And I believe that's all the highlights we have because this is back to the sack, though. So the Dragons, as we said, they fall 27-23, and we mentioned, I thought your defense played a very, very nice game as you held Gervais 20 completions, so you were 37 attempts, 20 completions, 17 completions for only 176 yards. One thing that he did not do was turn the football over, but you held him in check as well as, Bridges, he got off pretty good for against either 20 for 174.
Yeah, I thought our secondary did a great job in coverage all day. Finley's got two very talented receivers.
Yeah, they do.
The one kid is every bit as talented as Charles is. And, to only have him, throw for 175 yards is great. And, we had, two really missed plays on defense that let a run get out. And, other than that, they really had a solid game right there and stopped them for most of the day.
And then for the Dragons offensively, Antonio goes 32 of 52 for 364 and a couple touchdowns. And Charles, one catch away from the conference record, ends up with 17 catches. The conference record was 18. We thought it was 16. We thought Obadiah Dykes had it from a few years back, but he was, I guess, number 2 in the books. Now he's number 3 behind Charles in his 17-catch, 222 yards and including one touchdown. And Jaquan Hardy leads the way for you on the ground with 10 carries for 26 yards.
Yeah, offensively we did a good job moving the ball all day as well. We still had a couple critical errors on the offense. The 2 turnovers right there. You don't win the turnover battle. It's hard to win a football game. Finley did not turn the ball over at all. We had 2 turnovers, and that really cost us when you look at it at the end of the day. And then we had a couple of crucial penalties. We had a couple of penalties right there.
Opening drive of the game.
The opening drive of the game, right. We stopped them, and then we get offsides, and then it gives them a first down. They go down and score. So, we win together, we lose together,
right.
And there's enough plays in all 3 phases of the game, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, that we look back, and if we'd have made that play, then, we win the football game. But, that's behind us now.
Right.
We've been looking forward all week, and I can tell you our guys have had a great week of practice and have really went out there and handled themselves this week just like they have the previous 5 weeks. So, as a staff, we couldn't be more pleased, about that and the way they've handled themselves. So we got a team full of guys that have matured in front of our eyes, and they understand if we go out there and give it our all for 60 minutes and play extremely hard, we got an opportunity to come away with a win.
I follow a lot of your players through the radio station here at WTUD on social media, and I haven't seen any kind of negativity. All the positivity has been there. That's been there continuously throughout this year, has continued even after a tough loss last week. So that's good to see that the players, or at least in the mental frame, are right there where they need to be.
That means that our players' social media committee is working.
Oh, good. Oh, good. We're going to bring an athlete up here in a little bit. Sean Scott will be our guest tonight. But one other thing we need to recap from last week was it was our Make-A-Wish game. and Cruz was there. I got a chance to talk to him and his family before the game. He didn't get a chance to make it up and broadcast with us, but I did get a chance to go down and talk to him, and it was kind of nice for to see him and his family there, kind of a culmination of a week-long events with you and the football team.
Yeah, absolutely. Cruz was a lot of fun to be around. He was very shy, but,
I could tell.
he was a lot of fun. Our players got a chance to spend some time with him Friday and then again Saturday at the game. He followed us Saturday just like he was a recruit. So he was at the recruitment meeting in the morning with us, with the families. Then he followed me to the team meal, and from there for the walkthrough. So, it was a lot of fun to have him around. And, I'll tell you what, all of our hearts go out to him and his family. Just, having to go through that situation with one of your children is unimaginable.
Exactly.
But, after the game, we gave the guys a talk in the locker room and told them, hey, it's not the end of the world. Let's pick ourselves up and go out there and continue to play hard, and we got a lot of stuff to be thankful for. And his dad was in there, and his dad asked to say a few things to the team.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And that's basically what he told the team. He's like, you guys are out here doing great things and playing extremely hard, and you guys are fighting for each other. We really appreciate that. What his dad was really saying is, hey, we're fighting for my son's life,
right.
And that puts everything in perspective. So they were very appreciative. We're glad they're there. We hope we get to see him for years to come and to be on the sidelines with us. But, it was a joy to have. And, Nehemiah from a week ago was at the game as well. So it's good to see those kids.
I didn't get a chance to see him.
He was there high-fiving everybody as well.
Oh, that's excellent. But, yeah, it's just great to when you're a Division II athlete, giving out is a part of being an athlete, especially, I guess, really at any level. But I say that because that's where we sit here at Tiffin University, and it's great to see those kids want to reach out. Like Antonio came to Steph the trainer, and brought up the idea of putting out this video and stuff. We put together the video, played up there, and we sent it off to Cruz's family, and that's really what it's all about. Like you said, winning and losing a football game, it's heartbreaking, it's wrenching and everything, but in the big picture of everything that happens in life, what they're going through is nothing compared to losing a football game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime you want to sit there and feel sorry for yourself, I promise you can find somebody that's got it a lot worse. But you're right. That's part of playing college athletics. We're here to help young men be better people, better character young men, and be very successful in the future. So we're doing that. We got a good group of young men. We really do.
All right, let's invite our guest up here tonight, Coach. Sean Scott's joined us on the program. He's around here somewhere. There he is. He's going to come on over, and while he makes his way over, remind everybody you can catch all the Tiffin University games live, video feed, and audio at tudragonradio.com. You can also catch us on your FM dial at Coast Country 100.9. You can find WTUD on social media as well. So, Sean, go ahead and pick up that microphone. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the program.
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us. And, Coach, why don't you talk a little bit about this young man who you decided to bring on the program with us tonight?
Yeah, I met Sean's high school coach prior to ever taking the job at Tiffin, and I went down there and clinic talked with him for a little bit. And, so when I got the job, Sean is one of the players that we recruited, him and a few other of his teammates, and ended up getting him here at Tiffin University, and we've had a lot of fun with him. I got to know his family very well. His dad is awesome. Me and Sean have had some jokes about that in the past, about how me and his dad are so ramped up and we want to be aggressive and play hard, and Sean's like always steady Eddie.
Even keel,
he's never too emotional, which is good, and that's really good for a defensive back, especially a corner. You
got to forget the last play.
Absolutely,
that's part of it.
But it's been a lot of fun having him on the team. He's growing in front of our eyes, and he's been, in my opinion, one of the best corners in the conference this year.
Sean, thanks for joining us. Welcome in, and let's talk a little bit about that first encounter with Coach Goff before he became the Tiffin University coach, and probably before Tiffin University was probably on your radar. Talk about that first encounter with Coach Goff.
Well, my first encounter with Coach Goff, basically they came in and at the time the program, they wasn't very successful, and they came in and what they said to us was pretty much, come in, make a difference, change the program around, and that's why me and a lot of my upperclassmen here, decided to come here, was to make a difference, change the program around, and first couple years, we didn't really do that. Last couple
you
years,
laying the foundation for doing that. I can tell you that.
Yep. Last couple years, we're getting there. Right there at the top of the hill. And this year, I believe, we've let a couple games slip away. Ones that we believe we should have won, but we still have 3 games left, and we still have opportunity, to do something that's never been done before. And that's having a winning season. In this conference.
I've been around this football program since its inception. I can tell you that the you young men and Coach Goff and his staff have changed the perception of this university and the football program, not only in the conference, and around the country, the state and everything, but right here to the people who live in Tiffin, grew up in Tiffin, or work in Tiffin. They're proud to say that Tiffin University is here now, and they're proud to say that we got a football team. It's because of young men like you and the coaching staff being able to bring in good character kids like yourself. So on behalf of myself and Tiffin, yeah, thanks a lot, 'cause it's a whole lot more fun now than what it used to be. That's for darn sure. But so where are you from? Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Dublin, Ohio, right outside of Columbus.
All right. What high school did you go to?
Dublin Kaufman.
I wasn't sure which one. I didn't want to assume and say one because I probably would have crossed some lines there.
Oh, no, very successful program down there. Crabtree's done a great job down there for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, my nephew played at Thomas Worthington, so I'm pretty familiar with that area down there in football. But were you familiar? How familiar were you with Tiffin University, if at all, when you were playing your high school ball?
At the time, not at all. Really didn't, hear about the program until, they started coming and recruit me. Mm-hmm. And, I love what they had to say. I had a couple buddies here at the time that were coming here as well, so, and like I said, biggest thing, is, that's when they come, make a difference, change the program around. High school, everything was handed to us, we didn't have to work for nothing really, I wanted to go somewhere, and actually have to put in hard work, Right.
So. Well, it's something that Coach Goff and his staff, as you've seen, I've seen it myself, instilled that discipline that's necessary to put in that hard work. And I'm sure you've seen that change in yourself, probably just not only on the football field, but as a student, as a man, the discipline that football has instilled in you.
Oh, yeah, it's night and day, from when I first got here to now.
Is that true, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know this.
I'm talking about this young man specifically here.
Oh, no, he has. I tell you what, he is, from day one, he's been a competitor. I mean, you look at him, he always had a big frame. He was always a fast guy that can run. He's dedicated himself in the weight room quite a bit the last 2 or 3 years and really become that polished defensive back. And, one of the games that stood out was, a year ago, we had one of the other defensive backs being attacked the entire game by a bigger receiver. And, we put Sean on him and locked him down for the rest of the game. And that was kind of one of his coming out parties right there as far as, hey, here's a really good corner. If you throw his way, you're
rolling the dice.
Thin ice, right.
Well, we mentioned this twice now, your size has been mentioned, and you're definitely one of the biggest corners in the conference, at least size-wise. You try to use that to your advantage when you're out there playing, especially when you're in a one-on-one situation with the receiver?
Oh, definitely. High school I played safety, so I'm used to, being in the box, tackling, being physical, so I try, bring that, to corner as well. And on top of that, my size, really freakishly long arms. So I try
that doesn't hurt when you're a corner, does it?
So I try to use that, to my advantage as well.
So what are you studying here at Tiffin University?
I'm studying law enforcement.
Okay, and what's your plans post-graduation?
He's about to graduate.
All right, you graduate at the end of the semester?
I graduate in December, yep.
Well, congratulations. Good for you. What's your plans when the football season's done, graduation, and what's next?
Well, my plan is to, I'm a West Coast type of guy. So my plan is to move out west, and live on the beach somewhere,
There's not beaches all over Dublin, Ohio? What are you talking about?
I love Dublin, but, no beaches.
Well, there's also the Sandusky River, bud, right through town. Yeah.
I think he's been hanging out with Willie Mays too long. I think Willie's gotten to him.
Probably. As I say, there's a certain coaches show that happens on a boat every once in a while up on Lake Erie, that there's beaches around Lake Erie, too. So
I'm for him. You out West Coast, I'll come visit. That's fine.
No doubt. Yeah, don't forget about us when you're out there.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look back at your time here at Tiffin University. Let's talk about some of the special moments that you've had a chance to experience. I guess not only as a student athlete, but as a student at TU, and just talk about your time and some of the just some of the cool things that you've had a chance to experience.
Well, my time here has been great. It's been the best years of my life, to be honest. The biggest thing I'm gonna take from this program is not only the relationships I've built with my teammates, but like I said, also just the things that football has engraved in me, like hard work and discipline. All the things that our coaches preach every day. That really you can take that to life. Any situation. So football has definitely made me a better man, as well as as a player. But yeah, my teammates, I love them. I love my coaches. Love the university. In terms, professors, they're great here. I love everything about it. It's been a great 4.5 years now.
Coach, the end goal when you're working with these young men, one goal is, make them the best football players they possibly can be. But one of the goals, I'm sure, is when they leave Tiffin University and I'm done working with them, I want them to be the best man that they possibly can be by the time they leave here. And it sounds like he's echoing that.
Well, with Sean, we knew that from early on, that he's great character. You meet his family, instantly that he was raised right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a right way and the wrong way. And Mr. Scott wasn't going to do any wrong, was he? He wasn't going to let you get away with anything. But we've actually had some very funny moments over the years because, like I said, I ask him all the time, I was like, I bet Christmas morning you're kind of like this, and then if you're having a bad day, you're just kind of like this. He just smiles. Yeah, Coach, I'm just not a fiery guy like you and my dad. I'm like, I'm not trying to change you, but no, you just got to understand him, and he works hard. He comes to work every day with a good attitude. He is, somewhat of a leader quietly. He's just going to work hard, and if you're doing something wrong, he might come over and say something to you, but he's just not the personality of a rah guy and look at me, and that's completely fine, and
there's different styles of leaders.
I think he understood me maybe a lot sooner than I understood him early on because he keeps saying, my dad's just like you, Coach, but no, he's been a lot of fun, and you don't have to worry about this young man. He's going to be very successful no matter what he does, and he's been a pleasure to coach, and I hope we get a lot more young men like him because he's exactly what we want our football program to be.
What out there does get you fired up? Studying?
Nothing. Yeah, really. I mean, they always say, never be too high, never be too low.
What's true?
I'm always, right here no matter what happens. You know what I mean? Like inside, it might come across that, I'm not excited, don't care, but, inside, I'm just as fired as everybody.
When that receiver's on the other side of the line of scrimmage and you're over there on this side and you're stone-faced, he doesn't know how to read you. Somebody is shaking in their boots and you can see it in their face. They already have an edge on that guy.
Right.
If they can't read you, they don't know.
Exactly.
Wow. All right, let's talk about some of the young defensive backs that after you'll be moving on when you're done here. You got some young defensive backs that are in your crew there that are some pretty darn good football players as well as good athletes.
Yeah, our coaches.
Characters? Is that the biggest character group on the team?
Easily.
All right. Tell us about some of these young men.
Yeah, they've done a great job, of recruiting. We have, all three of our safeties are returning next year, but we have two really young corners who are going to be really good. Wynn and Ethan Edwards. Mm-hmm. They're both freshmen. And they're freak athletes. Got speed. They need to get away from a little bit, develop a little bit. But
get the line a couple more inches too, if you could. Yeah, take some of your height that you got.
I promise you, Wynn thinks he's 6'4" and about 230 right now. He thinks that.
Does it?
But yeah, they're gonna be great players. We have a couple returning corners as well. Jalen Alexander. Some of those guys. So they're gonna be loaded next year as well.
Playing a team this weekend who doesn't like to throw the ball a whole lot. Last in the conference in yards per game, attempts, completions. Does that make your job easy this weekend, or is there a whole lot of run stuffing? You still got to be on your toes. They will put it up.
Right, yeah. I mean, we got to be disciplined, across the board. This game, our biggest job as a corner is, basically stay awake, don't fall asleep, because, they have some, bigger receivers, and they'll take some shots, downfield eventually, especially if they get behind. So, we got to, just stay on our P's and Q's the whole game, be ready.
Does he like to stick his nose in there as a tackler, Coach?
Oh, yeah. We've never worried about that with him. Not at all. Neither of our corners right now, Stephon and
that's a
Sean,
huge bonus, isn't it?
But, yeah, they're going to have to stay awake this week. It's run, then all of a sudden play action or wheel route here or there. So, we, like you just said, we got to be very disciplined.
So, Sean, let's ask you one last question here before we get into the Northwood a little bit more. If you were talking to somebody, a kid who was thinking about coming to Tiffin University to play football, convince him to come to Tiffin University, what would you say to him?
I would tell him, do you want to be a winner? This program, I believe that this year we're going to finish the job these last 3 games. I feel like this is going to keep going, in the same direction, as the years go on.
Well, we got 3 winnable games coming up, 2 of which are on the road. One more home game for you, put on the home greens for the Dragons. But, yeah, Coach, anything else for Mr. Scott before we start talking about the Northwood game this weekend?
No, just, like I already said it, he's been a pleasure to coach. We're going to, miss him, big time. But, I know if I ever go down to Columbus, I got somebody I can go hang out
California.
with. If he's going to West Coast, I'll find him there.
Well, so you're welcome to stay here while we talk about Northwood a little bit. Coach, I mentioned their offense, and they're definitely a run-heavy team. I don't know if I've ever seen a team at this point of the season that 7 different running backs run for 100 yards in a game. So they got a nice stable of running backs, and it's no secret that running the ball is what this team likes to do.
Oh, absolutely. They love running the ball, and they're good at it. They throw a lot of stuff at you, a lot of misdirection, the triple option. Then, like I said, they'll throw up a play-action pass or sneak somebody out of the backfield. I mean, they're a handful. They really are. And don't let their record fool you. They lost 2 close games. They lost to Saginaw in the overtime, and they lost to Ferris on the last play of the game. They are a very good football team.
Ferris is a top 15 team in the country right now?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And, then defensively, same thing. They're in the top of the conference in most of the defensive categories. They're big. They're physical. So, this is not going to be an easy task for us. I mean, we got to understand that we got to go up there. It's got to be a business trip. We're on a mission, and we better stay focused for 4 quarters, or it's going to be a long day for us.
Defensively, they're giving up about a little over 25 points a game, which ranks 9th in the conference. But in total defense, they're a little bit ranked higher than that. So I'm assuming by looking at that, they're probably giving up a few big plays.
No, they're good. They got one of the best linebackers in the conference. He leads the conference in tackles, I think, by 15 or 20 tackles. He's also one of the top linebackers in the country. So again, they're a very good football team. And play here or there, and their season would be dramatically different than what it is right now at 2-6. So, but with that being said, we've had a great week of practice. I really, like I said earlier, the guys have handled themselves great over the last 5 weeks. It's been come to work every day and have a great attitude and work hard, and they've been holding each other accountable. So it still gets down to how Tiffin football is going to play, how we're going to respond when we get up there Saturday. And at the end of the day, if we play extremely hard for 4 quarters, I like our chances.
Sean, you get to work against an incredibly talented wide receiving core in practice each and every day. You think that's helped you become a lot better football player?
It does. When you go against some of the best receivers in the conference day in, day out, makes it easier on Saturdays because our receivers, as you said, are some of the best in the conference.
Who's the fastest defensive back on the team?
I hate to say it because his head's already big enough, but I'm gonna give it to Wynn.
All right.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Well, he's a little guy. He doesn't have a whole lot to carry around, right? He can get down the field pretty quick. But as we said, the Dragons taking on Northwood this week. Go ahead, Coach. You got something to add there?
Maybe he won't find the show online or something.
we'll disguise the name of it so he can't find it. Or we'll take that part out. Okay, we'll make sure he doesn't hear that. But yeah, Coach, Northwood this weekend. As we said, you can catch all the action at Tiffin University Football at tudragonradio.com, as well as Coast Country 100.9 WMJK. And if any of our viewers are having trouble seeing the games through the link on the Tiffin University Athletic website, we apologize. We worked our way through that, and we'll have that fixed first thing in the morning tomorrow. So thank you for bringing that to Coach's attention, and thank you, Coach, for bringing that to our attention because we didn't know that. Our site was working fine. We didn't know the link was broke. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we had some big numbers last week for people tuning in that game. So anything else, Coach, before we wrap this baby up?
No. Let's have a great week. Let's finish the week strong.
Northwood, 1 o'clock kickoff this Saturday. You can catch a replay of the Gary Goff Show at 12 noon. Our pregame show will start at 12:30. Sean, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck the rest of your football season. Enjoy these last 3 games because it's going to go by like that, and it's going to be, before you know it, 20 years down the road looking back at that stuff and missing it so much. But thank you for your time. Best of luck in your studies continued, and thank you, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Coach, thank you so much. Go get him this Saturday. We'll see you up in Northwood, all right?
All right, thanks.
This has been the Gary Goff Show right here live at Buffalo Wild Wings every Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Dragons 1 o'clock kickoff against Northwood this Saturday. If you can't make the trip up to Midland, tune in 100.9 WMJK right here at WTUD. Have a great night, everybody.